So many people, teen girls, 15-year-olds sobbing because they couldn't get the product. They didn't get to see Salish. They didn't get anything they had hoped for, but they had been up since 10 p.m. or 5 a.m. waiting in line. The amount of gratitude I have, I can't even think about it without wanting to cry. We've been working together for 5 years. Every week we put our head down. We said, let's just make a great video this week. Never had any idea how much it was resonating. No clue, literally no clue. Turns out 87,000 people came. 87,000.
The Beatles coming to JFK or something. People are just losing their minds.
It was twice what Mr. Beast got.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Next to Media. I'm Mike Shields. I'm here with Jordan Matter. He is a top creator, entrepreneur. Hey, Jordan, thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Excited to talk to you because you bridge a lot of these different parts of the business that we're all super interested in here. I think a lot of people will know your name, know of you as a big YouTuber, but maybe not know all the details unless they're a follower. I'm sure this gets old, but can you give us a little bit of your journey, how you got started, who you are, how'd you get to be you?
Sure. I started doing YouTube videos back in 2017 and they were photography because I was doing dance photography at the time. I'm a photographer. And so I started filming myself photographing dancers. And I didn't know anything about YouTube, but I thought it would be cool just to get it on camera.
And was that to supplement other business, or you think
it wasn't for revenue? There's two reasons. One was I had a book coming out later that year, and I kind of wanted to have another social platform to promote it on.
Right. And
for people to start seeing the process that I was using to create that content, because it was dance photography book. It was going to be my third one. And then secondly, I also wanted to prove that the photos were real, because the dancers were so incredible that people assumed I was photoshopping it. So I was showing the real process in order to prove that. What I was not expecting to do was to get any sort of virality. I was not expecting to get any revenue or any subscribers. That
part
was
supposed to be maybe a short-term thing, and then things changed.
So it was. I hadn't thought about how long it would be. More like, hey, there was one thing where if you could get 10,000 subscribers, then you get free access to the Chelsea studios for YouTube. And we thought that would be kind of cool to have that access, but we're like, how would we get 10,000 subscribers? That's really hard. And Casey Neistat has famously said that's the hardest thing to do, the first 10,000.
The first 10,000, yeah.
But I came up with this concept based on the fact that photography is boring to watch, but the dancers are beautiful to watch. The photography process needs to be more exciting. So I created something called a 10-minute photo challenge, where I would give myself 10 minutes to get as many photos of a dancer as possible in a public environment. And so I would get there a little early. I'd scout it out. I'd see if I had any ideas. We would say go. We had one camera and me, second GoPro on my camera for my POV. And we would film for 10 minutes, see how many photos I'd get. And that was the extent of it. They were usually 6 to 8 minute videos. I would post one every week. And a lot of them went super viral because it was new, it was different. And I was using some well-known dance moms dancers. So it got some traction that way.
Okay, so you had that. Because I was going to say, I'm assuming you probably went into it thinking there's a niche community probably on YouTube of people that will care about this, but maybe not something that would cross over. But it's obviously, you had a nice connection with the dance moms thing, and just maybe was this broader maybe than you expected?
I didn't expect anything. Honestly, I knew nothing about YouTube. I never watched it. I knew nothing. This was in the day of the Logan Paul vlogs and Casey Neistat and everything.
Right. It's a long time ago in YouTube time.
So then I started realizing, okay, first of all, I looked it up and on Google, and they said, post once a week. And so I started posting once a week, and still now we post once a week. And I think consistency has been a big key, but we started doing every photo challenge every week. And then we started collabing with bigger names. And then the videos got more popular because I was photographing popular people. It was all kind of perfect time because a lot of people that were very popular at the time were also very flexible. Like Sophie Dossi, the Ribka twins, Charlie D'Amelio, Addison Rae. They all had dance backgrounds. And suddenly here comes this dance photographer who's screaming to do crazy stuff, and the video only takes 10 minutes to film.
So the crossover thing, it lends itself to it very well.
Yeah, it lends itself to collabs, but at a certain point you run out of collabs. Like, I can't really photograph somebody who doesn't do something performance related because there's nothing visually interesting. So then now we started repeating collabs, and it started to get a little bit like, maybe we're running out of our thing here. But we built 5 million subscribers and almost 1 billion views on the photography. Now, my daughter at the time was 10, and she was very flexible, very flexible. She's a gymnast. So every once in a while, I would use her in a video instead. And she was shy, but she enjoyed being photographed. She liked hanging out. I love hanging out with her. started seeing more engagement in those videos, and I had more fun because it was my little girl.
Wait, let me pause you right there. At this point, has it become a business yet? Are you making money from YouTube pre-rolls,
Yeah.
but not
Yes.
brand stuff? Like what's going on? Okay.
Okay. So where we were at, we're probably averaging a couple million views per video. We were getting AdSense, which we didn't even know to turn on for the first few months. Then we were getting the occasional brand deal, but not really.
Right.
But we were doing
nice cash, but it's not like.
But it was very nice cash. I mean, my thing was I was a headshot photographer that I also did very well, but this became more than supplemental income at a certain point.
All right.
But again, not as, these were back in the day, they were short videos. The monetization was much lower as a result. And, once a week. So it was great that it was happening, but it wasn't so dramatic that I could quit my day job.
Right. Okay. So then, sorry, you say you bring your daughter into the mix.
Yeah. So this went on for about 3 years of me doing photography. The first year was supplemental. The next 2 was significant revenue. And by the time I started working with Salish, we had 5 million subscribers and we had great revenue. I didn't need her for either views or revenue as far as I could tell. It was not it was more of a play of this is a new person I can work with who also gives me great photos, and she's my daughter, so I get to hang out with her, and she's having fun. So it's a win-win-win. We didn't expect it to go on long. I would do a video with her and then 2 with somebody else, then a video with her. And I had so much more fun with the ones with her, and they were being received better because now I think the most important part of YouTube is relationships. And I didn't have relationships in the photography. I just had individual collaborators every week. Suddenly I had a relationship. People now saw me as a dad, and they really were starting to fall for her.
Meaning the viewers, the community, it starts to become.
Exactly. In order to keep longevity, it's about the relationships on camera and about the relationship with the audience.
They need to feel like they're part of this with you.
Exactly. They're rooting for you. And so what I discovered is now I had somebody that was around their age. She was 10, 11, right. 12, and they were growing up together. And the audience I already had was primarily female because I was doing dance with mostly female dancers. So the transition into her was seamless. And then at some point I just put down my camera. I didn't need to be a photographer anymore. And we would just do father-daughter challenges.
Right.
It wasn't calculated. It wasn't like I said, "Oh, there's a lane."
Tomorrow I'm becoming a creator, and that's it.
Right, or even
exactly what my style is.
I mean, looking back, it makes perfect sense. All family content was around a perfect family unit. It was like mother, father, 2 to 6 children, right? And suddenly it was just a dad-daughter. It was one very isolated, specific, what you would think niche audience, but it turned out it wasn't very niche. And we had this lane that was completely wide open. So the first thing was I found this photography challenge lane. And then I found a father-daughter lane.
So you find, that's a convention on YouTube that you was existing, but you said, let's plug in make it about.
It was not even that calculated. I'm just looking back and realizing we unintentionally discovered a lane. What I really wanted was just to make videos with my daughter.
Right.
And my son was doing his own thing at the time, and my wife wasn't really down to be on camera much. So it really was it's this or nothing. And it's awesome. And I can keep photographing you. So for a long time, they were photography challenges, but just with her. Right. And then they became non-photography challenges. And that's where we're at to this day.
Looking to get more out of your YouTube advertising? With View Planner, you can buy with total confidence and clarity. View Planner is a verified YouTube brand suitability and contextual targeting partner in the YouTube measurement program. Recognized by Google as a trusted independent leader in driving and measuring performance on YouTube. Their advanced technology gives you a clear edge. Only with View Planner. We're talking custom curated contextual collections, exclusive content strategies, transparent reporting, and AI-driven optimization to deliver real results. Don't let your budget go to waste. Partner with View Planner and experience the difference. Visit viewplanner.com now to unlock your full advertising potential on YouTube. That's VUEPLANNER.com. Okay, so then, at a certain point, you start doing these challenges, you're getting a broader audience. When are you, I know I'm jumping back and forth a little bit, but are you working with intermediaries to find brand deals? Are you getting stuff through YouTube, or is it all direct? How does your business evolve? How are you finding?
The way MCNs work, right? They pick off the young talent, not young by age, but young by YouTube, right? New to YouTube. And so Studio 71 approached me when we were just starting and was like, "Oh, this is cool," right? They said, "We can help you with this, that. We can help you build your channel." But they specifically said, We can help you with the back end on your channel to understand how to optimize better.
Right.
And that all sounded great. Never really did it. And then they would try to get brand deals, and maybe they got one, but they got a percentage of the thing. So don't anybody ever give a percentage of your channel to anybody. And we did it for the
Okay.
first year to Studio 71.
They
Terrible
don't know
idea.
any better and it didn't work.
Didn't know any better. They made much more money on us than they brought us in, and we fired them after a year and found a management team.
Okay.
And then the managers were going after bigger brand deals. But again, you know, we weren't that established yet. And even though we were getting views, it feels to me like brands almost need to see a consistency for a while before they really jump in, or they need to see a
Right.
bigger conversation around you happening before they want to become part of your world.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It's almost like they want to see other brands jumping on before, like nobody wants to be the
It's hard to
first
go
to give you.
first.
Yeah. So we were getting some brand deals, but they weren't that significant. And I didn't really believe in the things that much. You know, it's gaming. We don't game. So I was kind of getting turned off by doing that. Definitely interrupted the flow of the videos.
Right. You're trying to
And,
force fit stuff that
yeah.
doesn't make sense.
And the money was, compared to what the AdSense wasn't so significant that it made up for losing the ability to tell a good story.
Okay. So then maybe I'm fast forwarding a little bit here, but talk about there's a lot of creators that have their own brands that you hear different things. Like that was huge a couple years ago. It peaked. There's plenty of room. It's only works for certain categories.
Yeah.
When
I
do
don't
you
believe in it.
start
I don't believe
thinking
any of
about-
that.
Okay.
I don't believe
Tell me
any of
about how do you start thinking about that?
Classic YouTuber trajectory. You come up with some gimmick, you get popular, you get some money, you start spending the money to flex your wealth. That becomes your content. Then you start pitching a bunch of products that you don't believe in and that they don't work and there's no need for. And you get more money. And then eventually people get tired of your shtick and you disappear. And that all takes between 3 and 5 years.
And like you've seen this like play out.
Where endlessly. I won't say any
you
names.
Sort of wreck your audience relationship or your credibility or you just don't.
Yeah. All these YouTubers are so freaking young. They're children.
Yeah.
They're all children. And that's not a negative. I'm just saying they're young. When I was 21, could I have handled millions of dollars? There are people
and said yes to lots of things. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Ben Azelard, for example, a great example of the opposite. Amazing guy, unbelievably mature for any age, much less 22 or whatever he is. Handles it all very well, makes a really good living, but doesn't do more than he wants to do. He's a great example. He hasn't changed his style, even though he's gotten very successful. There's a lot of people I can say that have done it right, but there's also a lot of people, especially earlier, who hadn't learned this yet, who just thought the wealth was the thing that made the audience interested in them, which is exactly the opposite. It makes you unrelatable. And then they start flexing, and then they need more money to pay for all that. And so then they try to release products, and then they release 20 products because they want one of them to hit and all that. So I think that the problem with influencer products or, brands is that people, they don't think about what their audience would need, how they can serve their audience, what makes sense to their brand. Instead, they say, a company comes and says, hey, do this. They're like, great, I'll make some money.
What's going to sell the most, right?
And then they do it. Here's another great example. Ryan Trahan, also a young guy. They all are. Joyride, brilliant the way he did that. Because it was one thing, Ryan doesn't sell stuff. He raises money for charities, incredible.
Yeah.
And then he finds one thing and he obsesses over that and he makes that his thing. If you do it that way and you believe in the thing and there's a white space for it, you're much more likely to be successful.
Instead of every other month, I've got a new thing that I'm
right.
Love.
But also, he personalized that to himself. Hey, I love candy, but I don't like eating sugar, but I love it. And you see it in his videos. He likes to eat like McDonald's every day and all that. So, so it made sense. And so what we did was we said, okay, we're not going to do a lot of brand deals. I've been for 5 years since I've been working with sales. Like, I don't want to do a lot of brand deals because I don't want to become a creator that's always pitching something to the audience. So put it this way we like to make our content is it's almost like we're inviting you over to our house. You're hanging out with us. Salish, a lot of people that watch us see her as, their friend or their big sister. If you're hanging out with your friend, you're having a sleepover, you're going to go, oh, by the way, you got to try this new game. Here, you know what? I'm going to give you a link and then you try it and then I'll make some money. So it feels so inauthentic. So we've done some, of course, but we've avoided it for the most part. And as we avoided it, And as our views continued to rise, the offers became more frequent and they became higher offers.
Okay.
And the reason is because it looked like maybe a year ago, everybody suddenly like opened their eyes and like, oh, wait, you guys are on YouTube. Does that make sense? Like for years, everybody in our category was getting these 6-figure brand deal offers. And we weren't, but we were getting more views.
That doesn't make sense. Why?
The reason was because we came later to the game. So we didn't.
And you're a little bit unusual. Like you're not like you're like you said, dad and daughter, not necessarily like the typical YouTuber if there is one.
Could be that. Also, people would say, oh, it's because the title of the channel is Jordan Matter, not Matter Family, or not Salish Matter. So then they think they're buying you, but they really want her or whatever. There was all these reasons. Right. But in the end of the day, it was really that we didn't have enough reps. We were like, like if you think about sports, the star always gets paid the most when they're past their prime.
Yeah, because you've already had your career year.
Right. So anyway, long story short, we've kind of held back and we've been saying, we don't want to pitch to our audience. Instead, we want to just give them really great content every week and wait for an opportunity. If we ever believe in something, we'll put our everything into it. Okay. But if we never believe in something, we don't have to release a product. There's lots of ways to make money as a creator. You can put your content in 1,000 places. So you can repurpose content everywhere, and that can generate more money than a product would anyway. So there's no urgency if it's about the money. It's only if there's a product you're actually excited to develop.
Okay. So then how does that building up tension to about this? When does that happen for you? If you're a makeup creator, it's so many obvious ways to launch a brand. I wouldn't have necessarily said there's an obvious way for you to launch your own brand, but how does this come into fruition and where does it come from?
Well, first of all, it was the complete and total takeover of my daughter on the channel, right? So number one, like you're looking at me, but it's not me. I'm in half the video all the time.
Yeah.
But it's her. She's the one. She's the one. She's the one that everybody relates to. She's on every thumbnail. It's her journey. She's the one that they've grown up with.
Right.
I play a secondary role of a dad that can be fun and cringe and relatable. And I put a lot of effort into the pre-production and creative all week. And we really protect her time. I'm very protective of her time, meaning we shoot 1 day a week. That's it. The other 6 days, she goes to school. She does her sports. She hangs out with friends. We don't talk about YouTube.
All that stuff that matters.
Normal life, normalcy throughout this whole time. And yet, when you think about product, you got to think about it coming from her. What would be relevant to her and kids her age?
Right.
So that's when we finally decided to go all in on one product, which is skincare at Sephora. Now, I'm happy to talk about how that came about and what the result has been, if you'd like.
Some creators will just have something they're passionate about. Some people will just grab whatever, and then they'll get to a retailer eventually. So tell me how this starts for you and why skincare?
Depends. I think it depends. I think it has to be the right partner. With skincare, we wanted to do skincare. And the reason why, there's this thing called Sephora Kids. It's been in the news for the last couple of years. All these kids that should not be doing certain kinds of skincare are doing it. They're getting their faces. Your
face is fine. Why are you doing this?
Exactly. And the reason is because all the products for skincare that were made for young skin are not cool. And they're watching TikTok about Drunk Elephant and these other brands. They want to feel cool, so they get that, but it's got retinol that rips their skin apart, and then they end up with really irritated skin. It was becoming a huge thing. So we said, what if we made skincare that is good for young skin, so they can use it? It develops healthy habits like SPF.
Mom and Dad don't have to worry about this. They're not going to ruin their face.
And it's cool. It's cool because the packaging is cool, because Salish can be cool to people. And it's just a cool product, and it's affordable, and it's got a major retailer behind it. And there's only one. And that's Sephora. Nobody else has that cachet.
So it could have been, not to name any names, but if the wrong retailer wouldn't, it's not like you just had to grab the biggest retailer. Somebody could have screwed this up, I guess is what I'm guessing.
You could do it D2C. You could do it with Target. You could do it with Ulta. And there's no wrong. I mean, Rhode with Hailey Bieber was D2C and just sold for $1 billion to Sephora. So you can do it that way. But we wanted to do Sephora. That doesn't mean that they wanted us, by the way, because when you go into a pitch meeting, first thing they're asking you is, okay, well, show us your conversion. What have you sold before?
And you're like, nothing.
It was like, we haven't sold nothing. I could say we could show them conversion from brand deals that converted exceptionally well. We could show them offers from brand having converted
But
that
you've
we're
never
trying,
done this before the way
but not on that level, not like we've launched a product.
Right.
So we could say, here's why we think it's successful. And I'll tell you one interesting thing that really tipped the scales. She said, when we had our pitch meeting with Sephora, big deal. It was Salish wasn't there. It was me. It was the CEO who we had found by then. It was the financing people. And we sat there and we're giving this presentation. And then the woman's the head of the booking at Sephora said, well, why would you be successful when Ariana Grande wasn't? I mean, celebrity brands often don't work. I said, okay, are you a fan of Ariana Grande? And she said, yeah. I said, what's the color of her bedroom? And she's like, I don't know. So what's the name of her dog? What's her best friend? What does she do on Saturday morning? Our audience will know all those questions in a half second.
Right.
Like, and that's the difference between celebrity and
they don't have that distance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's celebrity and influencer, totally different relationships, and different relationships between short form and long form creators. The most intimate connection you can get is streamer. Look at Speed's tour around the country. Look at Kai. The second most intimate relationship you can get with an audience is long form YouTube.
I think where you're going with this, that lends itself to a product recommendation way more than just, not so approachable celebrity. I'm not knocking Ariana Grande or whatever, but just that feels like you're going to trust somebody at a different level with that.
Well, you have an emotional connection to them that you may not have. I mean, a lot of singers get that connection, but it's a different kind of thing. You're not invited into their home every week. This was just a theory on my part. This wasn't actually borne out by any data. It was all theory because we've never done it. We had no idea if anybody would buy it. There's different kinds of channels, right? You have channels who do extremely well with views, but they don't have a personal connection with their audience. You have personal connection with the audience, but they don't get a lot of views. To combine the two is so hard because what YouTube prioritizes is almost disincentivizes the creator to have a relationship with the audience because you got to go so fast for the retention.
Interesting. What makes the audience love you is taking the time and connecting, and the algorithm and the recommendation wants you to.
I mean, I think what the audience wants is authenticity, and they want you to care.
Right.
We care. I legitimately really care about the message we're sending to the audience, about how they receive that message, about how Salish feels about the content, about the relationships in the videos and whether or not those are authentic. Like, there's so much stuff about that I care about. And I think if you start from a place of, I truly value and respect and care about you, I'm grateful for you, and I want to give something back to you that you could use, versus I can make a quick buck because I get a lot of views.
I got you. I'm going to use you.
Yeah, right. So I think they can, you can see that in the content, because content style too can be about taking audience for granted, which we just don't do. So we prioritize retention for sure and storytelling, but we also prioritize relationships. And I would say, if anything, our channel is about relationships.
You have this theory, you're talking to Sephora, they're asking you, how do you know this is going to work? Take me to like where things are today. You don't know a lot about manufacturing products.
No, of course not. I mean, we bring on a CEO who had run a skincare company, and we got an A team. Like, we weren't going to do it half-assed. We weren't going to just pop something on a DTC and then say, aren't we cool? Don't you want this? Instead, we're like, how do we own this? If you're going to do it, do it. Same way I approach the content.
You want a great product.
Yeah, like for years, I've never thought of our content, for example, as being competitive in any way with other YouTubers. I'm friends with everybody. We collab all the time. I'm competing against Netflix. I think I want to make a Netflix show. I'm not literally, like, I want our show to beat Netflix, which we did in 2024. We're in top 10 on Nielsen ratings, and with all the streaming platforms. That's always been my goal, to create content that is visually stimulating enough and high production value enough to be able to be seen on a television.
So that was going to be, hold that thought, because I want to ask you about the TV thing. But go back to Sephora.
Okay, so in other words, what I do is, like, when you approach something, don't do it like birdshot. Don't try throw out 1,000 different things. Like, focus on a couple things. You got content, that's your foundation. Make the best content you can every week, no matter what else is happening. Make that happen. best content you can every single week. Number two, if you're going to do a product, make sure it's the best version of that product you could make and go all in on it. Swing for the fences. Get the best team, get the best retailer, get everything. So we did all that. And we've been building it for a year and a half with no idea if anybody would buy it. Absolutely, genuinely, honestly, no clue what would happen. Lots of pressure, though, because Sephora brought us in as their answer to teen skincare. Nobody else, just us.
You weren't one of 20 in this
No,
program they were rolling.
just us.
The stakes are pretty high.
Yeah. We finally are ready to announce it. And, we were leaving little Easter eggs throughout our videos that there's, that people have since found. Now, to give you a sense of context about where we were at when this happened, our channel averages about 300 million views a month. They're all long form. They're not dubbed. We do one language, which is Spanish, a week late. That counts for about 10% of our tail views. But in the first week, it's all English speaking. And we are, our viewership at this point is number 2 in the US to Mr. Beast. And we have the top female audience in the US. So you would think, okay, that means the people are going to be excited, but you just don't know.
Yeah.
Also, Salish has been the top on Famous Birthdays for 2 years, which might be a ho-hum, but Famous Birthdays has 25 million unique users a month, and it's all Gen Alpha and Gen Z. All Gen Alpha and Gen Z.
Right.
And she is more searched than Taylor Swift or anybody else for the last 2 years. So those metrics say, wow, there's something potential here, but still no clue what's going to happen. And we announced that we're going to have a launch event for this skincare line at American Dream Mall. And American Dream Mall is where Mr. Beast had his Beast Burger Mall.
Picture of
famous. He's there, and there's 45,000 people. Right?
Right. My kids wanted to go like the next day, and I'm like, no, it's in Jersey. It's too far.
Right. Exactly. So it was a massive thing, massive, exciting thing, and put creators in general on the map. Like, wait, the power of creators.
Yeah, and it was very eye-opening, for sure.
It was extremely. 45,000 people was a lot of people. So now we're going there, and we're thinking, can we get 1,000? That would be sick. We planned for 5, meaning if we can get 5,000 people, and this was a stretch, we didn't think we'd get it, but we have enough product for 5,000 people for the pop-up, so we can give away 5,000.
Right.
And we could, and it'll be,
you don't want to go too far and go and fall on your face. Like, you want to be set up to look good.
Right. You want to be, but also you're like, there's no way we're going to use all 5,000. So we were already making plans. What are we going to do with the excess, and where are we going to put it? And but 5,000 would look good on camera. It'd be pretty impressive. It's not Mr. Beast, but it'd be cool. We get there on Friday night. People are already in line. 7 p.m. And it's not happening until 10 a.m. the next morning. So now we're starting to think, okay, wow, maybe we'll hit 5,000. Like, this is crazy. There's a couple hundred people there at 9 p.m.
Right.
And then it keeps getting longer and longer and longer. Go home, go to bed. 6 a.m., I get my first text from the CEO, like, we have a problem. There were 20,000 people already in the atrium that can fit 10,000.
Jesus.
And the highway was backed up. We have all this on camera. We made a video about it. Full on stop traffic jam on the highway at 5 a.m.
So you're causing fire violations and
exactly. All the parking lot was full by 6 a.m. They had to reroute people to the Meadowlands to park. And the state police were called in because there wasn't enough mall security to handle it. And the state police were threatening to shut it down before it even started because of how many people were there. Turns out 87,000 people came. 87,000.
Like the Beatles coming to JFK or something. Like, people are just losing their minds.
It was twice what Mr. Beast got. And it was unbelievable moment, right? Like there was a line of thousands of people just to get into the Sephora, which only had 600 units, sold out in an hour. And then they had to close their doors because people were banging on the glass to get into Sephora. There was, a pop-up line. We had a huge stage show that was packed to the rafters. It was not very safe. Police were shutting it down. We ended up having to get escorted out because they didn't want us. If we showed up, they threatened. If we go out there after the stage show, they threatened to arrest me for trespassing because somebody was going to get stampeded, right? So it was wild. If you go from we've never done an event, we've never done a meet and greet,
right,
to suddenly 87,000 people, it was.
And you got 5,000 products.
And we got 5,000 products, right? So we're just, we've been dealing with the fallout from this for a while. We've been emailing people. It's like, it was a lot. It went from euphoria to really to extreme frustration in the course of an hour.
Because you don't want to piss off this fan community you work so
Not
hard
piss
to
off.
build.
They were crying. So many people were there. Teen girls, 15-year-olds sobbing because they couldn't get the product. They didn't get to see Salish. They didn't get anything they had hoped for, but they had been up since 10 p.m. or 5 a.m. waiting in line. No, there was no organization, like there's no like rope line or anything to tell people what to do. It just, they dropped the ball.
All you did, I don't want to diminish this, but like, it wasn't like you ran a bunch of Super Bowl spots. Like all you did was promote this to the channel, correct? Like, was there any other advertising involved to try and bring?
No, there was no paid media. We would mention it in our videos.
Right. So that's kind of insane.
It's insane. All of it is insane. And, people flew in from all over the world. People drove for 18 hours. The amount of like gratitude I have, like, I can't even think about it without wanting to cry. We've been working together for 5 years. Every week we put our head down. We said, let's just make a great video this week. Never had any idea how much it was resonating. No clue, like literally no clue.
You have a fandom, you have the comments, but you were like really affecting people's lives. And
yes, because we get, you go out to a mall or whatever and people come up and they take a photo, which is amazing. But you don't know, is that because they recognize you or is it because they love your content? Like, you just don't know.
Yeah,
right?
Everyone else is in line.
Mr. Beast, when he had Beast Burger, he had already done so many huge things and he had sold out of his merch so many times and he had shown conversion on so many ways that it was not a big surprise. What happened with us, and there was a lot of virality to those TikToks that people posted and a lot of like mainstream news media.
Yeah.
They're like, huh? Who is she? Nobody knows who she is. It's like, she brought 87,000. It was the largest creator event in history outside of Sidemen because they have Wembley Stadium.
Right.
There's never been a bigger one because
nuts.
There's no venue that any YouTuber would book for 87,000 people.
Right.
It's just never happened. So, and nobody knows who she is. It's like,
right. If you were paying attention to YouTube, you could see it coming with Mr. Beast a little bit, but this was like
Mr. Beast was already mainstream before Beast Burger.
Right. He's on the cover of Bloomberg or whatever.
Yeah, he was huge.
Right.
Not to mention he is he's still massive. Like if he went today, I'm sure he would get 100,000 people. He wasn't as big then as he is now.
Okay, so you've had this incredible event, which is on every level successful, but also you're disappointing fans. You're trying to catch up in manufacturing. What do you do next? Where do you end up now? And I know that I have like a million other questions.
We missed a moment in that we didn't have enough product. So Sephora and all of us were taken by surprise. So there just wasn't enough, right? So it was all sold out immediately. Online sold out every time. And then the stores were a bit slow to get it on their shelves. Lots of demand. When it gets on the shelves, it sells out. Incredible problem to have, but leaving a lot on the table there.
Yeah.
And still we are. Now it's restocked on the website. It's not sold out anymore. Now you have to kind of restart that enthusiasm. And how do you do that? Because it wasn't just that we launched a product.
You don't know, did I miss a moment here? Like, is somebody else going to come along?
I don't think anybody else is going to come along. I think it's more, there will be a lot of people to come along. I think that the thing is we made a really great product. And what I would say to people when we were building this, I'd say, we can launch it. I didn't realize how big it would be, but we can launch it. But we can't get people to buy it a second time.
The sustainability,
Yeah. So we have to make a great product. And by great, I mean something they actually need that looks cool, but is good for their skin, that isn't going to break the bank. We need to have those three things are essential. And Salish always insisted on those three things. We got it right. They nailed it. The team, not me. Julia Strauss, the CEO, and everybody, they nailed it. Incredible product, affordable, available at Sephora, and good for their skin, but really cool looking. So I feel very positive in that it has longevity potential because it's beyond Salish at this point. It's just a great product. But at this point, the only people getting it are the ones that are following Salish. So we have to transition away from her as the face of it into a great skincare brand, regardless of her. Speaking of her, I'm talking about you right now. Do you want to come out and say hi? It's a day off of school. Is it weird to hear your name talked about so much?
Sorry, I'm not listening.
You can listen. Yeah, she's dealing with the dogs.
I'm afraid my podcast might blow up if
look, oh my God, and there's your thumbnail.
Oh no, now I'm not gonna be able to handle the fandom for this.
I was just talking about Sincerely Yours and the launch event. Yeah. So
Congratulations. This is
she's
wild.
good. So much. Yeah. Yeah, we've had a good run of it. Oh, that's Hudson, my son. What up, gang?
Hey, Hudson. How's it going?
We're in the middle of just talking YouTube on a
You gotta
podcast.
introduce the dog now.
Oh, that's Moo.
You're actively on a podcast.
Yes, we're actively on a podcast.
We're not on like Twitch or anything.
This is what I'm wearing. I wasn't expecting it to be on camera.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to keep you.
Give you some face. I can't see it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Wait, you stay?
Oh, you're staying out here? Okay. All right. Back. Sorry for the diversion.
No, it's fine. It's great. So when you catch up, you'll eventually catch up. You'll be able to hopefully expand this beyond your daughters, being, the only face of the only one that's driving demand. Does this make you have an appetite to like, let's do 5 other products. Let's get 10 other advertisers. Hold on. I never want to do this again. Like
No, there's 3 things that she and I want to do and we're done. And this is one of them. There's 2 other things because I think, again, I get it. I totally understand for the first time the temptation that's out there because for this year has been a lot of opportunities, but after the event, it's just like, I mean, the visual of that, obviously every brand, everybody's like, I want that.
I was going to ask you, do you need these programs to help you connect with brands? You don't need that at this point. Like everyone's calling you.
We don't need that at this point, but we could have used it for the last 5 years, but we don't need it now because my feeling about it is, and Salish agrees, is that there's one moment and that moment is she's a kid.
Yeah.
That's a special moment in our lives. I do not want to inundate her with a bunch of work.
This might not, when she's 35 years old, this might not make any sense
what I mean is like, I want her to look back on this time and go, I'm really glad we did that together. Yeah. But I also got to experience my childhood.
Yeah, right.
That's as important to me as the
tough
content.
Trick to pull off. Yeah.
We have been doing well for years on YouTube, and I was doing well before her. So financially, we're fortunate, and so we don't have to jump at opportunities. But it's still tempting when opportunities are there. But you have to think long term. So in our case right now, I think we're in a unique situation where we can kind of call the shots of what we want. I would like to do one more equity thing. So if it sells, it's a great opportunity for her because it all goes to her anyway.
Yeah.
I'm great. I'm set. This is all building her nest egg. So I want to have her have a couple of companies and learn about business and learn about building a company. Yeah. And then if one of them is successful, great. She'll make a bunch of money. If they're not successful, then she learned how to do it. And when she grows up, she can do that for herself. And we didn't get paid anything to Sephora. Nothing, so it's all, but we're not making any money. So it's all about like, if it sells one day, we will. But at this point, it's all an investment of our time and we've put money in. And then I also feel very strongly about doing animation. I want to have an animated show.
I was going to ask you about you're competing with Netflix. All of a sudden, YouTube is being consumed on TV in a much bigger way. It's probably a huge audience for dance somewhere in that streaming universe. But you want to do animation? Do you want to do more content?
I would love to find ways to create content that don't involve more of her time.
Right.
And animation is that thing. We take an animated show about us and we age it when she was 10 or 11 so that we're locking in that moment where it was just such a fun moment of her in her life. And I think it resonates with a lot of people. And then we take that and we go to a Disney and Netflix somewhere and we have them produce the show. So that is my second big goal because it will take no more of her time, but it's another opportunity to direct our audience in a way for something that I think, because I would only want to do it if it was entertaining and had good life lessons. And that's what our channel is too. We try to model healthy relationships and good life lessons. So we would incorporate that into the content. Into the animation. So that's 2. And then there's one more thing that we might do that has to do with apparel or it has to do with toys. And we're considering that. And then after that, I think we step back and we continue to make really good content. Because the other direction is you say there's 10 offers on the table. All of them are lucrative. All of them are beyond what we would have ever expected to get. Let's do it all. And then meanwhile, you forget about the foundation. The reason why people like you is because every week they get to see you.
Right. You're just maxing the hell out of it because you
Yeah,
want.
hey,
That's
every video there's a new product, and hey, go to Target for this, go to Walmart for this. I mean, we've gotten, like, just in the last couple of weeks, some very significant offers for very large quantities of orders for things that we haven't even developed yet. They're like, we don't even care. I'm like, that's not the right attitude.
Right, because it's not going to be great.
It's just going to be her face on a thing, and you think people buy it, but they're not going to buy it if we don't believe in it. If she doesn't believe in it, if it's not a good product,
It'll catch up with you.
Yeah.
Jordan, we can talk about this forever. It's fascinating, so much fun, but I want to let you go here. But thank you so much for all your time. Fascinating. Let's chat again as progresses. But best of luck with all these nice problems you have.
None of them are problems, just choices. But thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate it.
Awesome, Jordan. Thank you.
All right, take care.